Throughout my career in education, I've noticed that language arts programs have, by and large, gradually become watered down with political and philosophical agendas. I've also noticed that they've been largely filled with assignments that are, in most cases, ambiguous and confusing to the student. In my program, the objective is to ensure that the reader and writer fully understands the purposes and benefits of good reading and deep writing. Use of the literature as a base for all of the writing serves to ensure clarity throughout the process. Here are the 8 basic steps to the Homeschoolers Reading and Writing Coach program. First, the reader and I become acquainted through a discussion about reading. I'll ask the reader to rate reading as an activity, to tell me what they enjoy most about reading as an activity and what they struggle with. Next, from each of 3 different novels, I'll ask the reader to read one paragraph aloud and answer a few content questions. The elements in this first step, introductions, helps me to determine not only reading level, but also what I can do to assist the reader throughout the entire reading and writing process. As they will be using it on a regular basis, it's important that the reader become familiar with my website. We'll spend some of the first session going through and discussing each of the website pages. And next, the reader and I will read aloud from each of the book summaries in the list of books that matches the reader's reading level. Then the reader will choose a book from the list. Book choice is based upon reader interest. Whether time or page-based, it's important that readers set goals. And this is what the reader will do in this next step of the program. As a reading coach, I'll assist the reader in this, ensuring that the goal that they make is a reflection not only of sufficient effort, but also that it's a realistic goal. In the next step, I'll review the importance of keeping a notebook as a helpful tool throughout the reading of the novel. Keeping notes throughout the reading process could be done in the margins of a physical book, in a separate physical notebook, or on a laptop or computer. The literary response is the backbone of the writing portion of my program, and in this, the reader responds to each of his or her personal reading sessions. In these responses, the reader discusses the basic parts of literature and the various literary devices used by the author throughout the work. In addition, they respond with their own personal responses, connecting their experiences to what they read. For more information on this, see my video titled The Elements. During each session, the reader and I spend time discussing their readings. We then discuss their daily personal responses to the readings. This is where I, as their coach, guide them in the writing process. Writing content such as organization, style, and grammar and punctuation are discussed. Lastly, the reader and I will read through a handful of quality book reports and discuss what exactly qualifies them as good. We'll then discuss options for organizational structuring for the report that they will then write on the book that they read. And one more thing. Readers have the option of sharing their literary responses and/or their book reports on the Homeschoolers Reading and Writing Coach website. They also have the option of writing and sharing their own short stories. Details on this will be discussed with both the reader and the parents at the first session. Now, let's review the 8 steps to the Homeschoolers Reading and Writing Coach program. First, the coach and reader become acquainted through introductions. Next, the Homeschoolers Reading and Writing Coach website is thoroughly reviewed. Third, the reader chooses a book based upon level and interest. Next, the reader decides upon a realistic reading goal for each day. Following that, the necessity of a notebook is discussed. Sixth, Coach and reader talk about how to write effective literary responses. Next, coach and reader engage in a discussion based upon the entire reading and writing process thus far experienced by the reader. And lastly, the reader writes a book report on the book that they read. Once again, the objective of my program is to ensure that the reader and writer fully understands the process, the purposes, and the benefits of good reading and deep writing. Thank you so much for listening.